Hello, dear listeners. Settle in, unwind, and let the ordinary fade away. Tonight, we have a tale that will linger in your thoughts long after it ends. So get cozy, take a deep breath, and remember, sometimes the creak in the floorboards isn't just your imagination. Let's begin. The Siren's inheritance. Have you ever felt your body betraying you? Not in the ordinary way, not illness or aging, but something more fundamental. A change that rewrites what you are at your core. 3 months have passed since I witnessed the unthinkable. 3 months since I helped wealthy elites feast on mermaid flesh at Dante's exclusive Banquet. 3 months of watching my humanity slip away one scale at a time. The transformation began subtly, webbing between my fingers that I'd sliced away each morning, only to find regrown by nightfall, slits forming along my neck that burned for water instead of air, and my eyes changing until the pupils elongated into black pools reflecting nothing but hunger. I've hidden away in my coastal shack since returning from that damned voyage. $10,000 sits untouched beneath my bed. Blood money. The price of my damnation. I can't spend it. Can't seem to destroy it either. That's Dante again. My 7th missed call this week. He wants another hunt, another feast. The thought both repulses and entices me. My newly forked tongue flicks involuntarily against sharpened teeth. I feel the moon outside, full and swollen against the night sky, though my curtains are drawn. It's pulled tugs at something primitive now living inside me. What was that? Someone? Something is on my porch. I moved to the door with unnatural silence, my body fluid in ways it never was before. Through salt-crusted glass, I see her. A woman, naked and gleaming in the moonlight. Her skin has an opalescent sheen, and her hair, dark and slick as oil, clings to her body like seaweed. But her eyes freeze the breath in my lungs, black, bottomless, and horrifyingly familiar. The mermaid we captured, the one whose flesh fed the elite, the one whose severed limb regenerated before my horrified eyes. Only now, she has legs. Malik. My name doesn't disturb the ear, but slips directly into my mind. You've been ignoring our call. I should be terrified. Instead, a strange calm washes over me. I thought you were dead. Her laugh is like breaking glass. Death is a human concept. We simply change form. What do you want from me? I ask, though part of me already knows. The same thing you want. She steps closer, bringing the scent of salt, copper, and something ancient that makes my new gills flutter. To complete what began the night you betrayed our species. I didn't know, You knew enough. Her cold touch follows the ridge of scales now prominent along my jawline. You're already halfway there, Malik. Neither human nor one of us. A creature caught between worlds. Dante's voice echoes in my memory. His casual cruelty as he harvested flesh from a living being. Fresh sashimi. The party guests will be pleased. The people who ate you, I began, are changing too. Her smile reveals teeth like polished obsidian needles. But their transformation is different, more painful. Their wealth, their status, their power, it taints our essence, corrupts the change. And Dante? Something flashes in those abyssal eyes. Dante has served his purpose, as have you. From the shadows of my yard, more figures emerged. 12 forms, some with legs, others dragging elongated torsos, still fused to powerful tails. Their movements are jerky, unnatural on land, but determined. You brought others, I whisper. Family, she corrects. We've come to collect our sister's flesh and the vessels it now inhabits. The people who ate, they're still alive? For now, she tilts her head, studying me with curious detachment. Their suffering will end tonight, and you, Malik, you have a choice to make. What choice? He asks, with his heart beating fast. Join us completely, or die with them. The ocean roars in my ears. Whether it's actual waves or blood rushing through my changing body, I can't tell. The choice seems simple, life or death. Yet something in me hesitates. Some last fragment of humanity clinging desperately to what I once was. I'll show you, she says, reading my thoughts. Her hand presses against my forehead, cold and slick. Images flood my mind. The depths of an ocean trench where light has never penetrated. Vast crystal structures rising from the sea floor. Beings with forms that shift and change at will. Hunting grounds where creatures, half human, writhe in perpetual agony. I see what happens to those who consume mermaid flesh without consent, without the sacred ritual. Their bodies try to transform, but lack the necessary communion with the deep. They become trapped between states, lungs burning for air even as gills form, bones splintering as they try to fuse into tails, minds fracturing as ancient memories, not their own, flood in. This is happening to them now, I gasp, seeing the faces of the banquet guests contorted in silent screams. Yes, their wealth brought them suffering beyond imagination. Her voice holds no pity. And Dante knew. He's done this before, many times. Something ugly and vengeful unfurls in my chest. Take me to him. Dante's coastal mansion gleams like a pearl against the midnight backdrop of the Pacific. Floor-to-ceiling windows showcase an uninterrupted view of the ocean, a vista I now understand is not for appreciation but surveillance. He's been watching for them, for us. We approach not from the road, but from the water. 12 mer creatures and myself. My transformation accelerates with each passing hour. The webbing between my fingers has extended past my knuckles. My teeth have sharpened to points that cut my tongue when I speak. And the hunger, a ravenous, gnawing emptiness, growing with every breath. The elaborate security system poses no obstacle. The cameras short-circuit at our approach, technology buckling under some ancient power I don't yet comprehend. The locks yield to touches that seem to communicate with metal itself, coaxing rather than forcing. We find him in his study, a glass of amber liquid in one hand, a phone in the other. When he sees us, the glass slips from his fingers, shattering against the imported marble floor. Impossible, he whispers, eyes widening at the mermaid leading our group. You can't be here. You can't be this. You've harvested from us for decades, human, she says, her voice reverberating through the room. Did you think we wouldn't learn, adapt, evolve? Dante lunges for a drawer in his desk, but I'm faster now, unnaturally so. My hand clasps around his wrist with enough force to make bones grind together. He screams a sound that would have once disturbed me, but now only heightens my hunger. The others, I growl, my voice no longer entirely my own. The ones from the banquet, where are they? The mermaid glides forward, her newly formed legs moving with growing confidence. We can smell our sister's flesh in them, in you. A look of horror crosses Dante's face as realization dawns. You've been eating it too, he whispers to me, continuing the transformation. I haven't, but I don't correct him. The truth? That my change comes simply from contact, from the mermaid's blood that splashed across my skin that night, is more terrifying. It means their influence extends beyond flesh consumed. It means no one who encounters them remains unchanged. The cellar, he finally gasps as my grip tightens. They're in the cellar. I've been studying the process. The creature who was once a mermaid nods to her kin, and several break away, moving with predatory grace toward the cellar door. The sound that soon emerged from below are not entirely human. You knew, I say to Dante, my voice low. You knew what would happen to them. A strange smile crosses his face. Of course, why do you think I never partake myself? I'm the harvester, not the feast. Then what? You're selling it? Selling immortality, he corrects. Or a chance at it, at that. 1 in 20 survives the change intact. The rest, he shrugs. Collateral damage. The wealthy will pay anything for a chance to transcend death, even with such odds. And me? I ask. Was I just convenient or part of your experiment too? His eyes assess my transformation with clinical interest. Both. I needed a fisherman. Finding one already sensitive to their influence was fortuitous. You heard this song before I even told you what we were hunting, didn't you? You've always heard it. The truth of his words resonates within me. The sea has always called, always whispered. I just never understood the language until now. The mermaid moves closer, her hand resting on my shoulder. Enough talk. It's time, Malik. Choose. I look at Dante, at the man who knowingly fed people to monsters and monsters to people. At the calculated cruelty in his eyes. Then I look at my changed hands, the beauty and terror of what I'm becoming. What happens to him? I ask. Justice, she replies simply. Our way. I step back, a decision made. He's yours. Dante's scream is cut short as they surround him, not attacking, but enveloping, their forms seeming to melt and flow around his struggling body. I watch in fascinated horror as they drag him, not to but to the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the ocean. Glass shatters, bodies fall, and I follow, my choice made. The transformation completes at dawn, my body convulsing as the final changes take hold. Bones liquefy and reform. Skin hardens into scales. In some places, becomes translucent in others. What was Malik dissolves, replaced by something older, something that remembers when oceans covered the entire earth. Beside me, Dante writhes in a transformation of his own. But his is wrong, warped by the corruption in his soul. His screams bubble through the water, his new form taking shape without grace or purpose. He will not die. That would be too merciful. Instead, he will serve as the new lure, the new harvester. Bound to the depths but compelled to draw others down, a siren of a different kind. As for the banquet guests we liberated from the cellar, those whose bodies weren't too far gone have joined our migration toward deeper waters. The others have been granted mercy. Their suffering ended with swift, clean deaths. I swim now with my new family toward the crystal cities in abyssal trenches that human eyes have never seen, toward a life where hunger and power move in perfect balance. But part of me, some last fragment of who I was, wonders about the new desperate fisherman who will one day cast his net into dark waters, about the song he might hear, about the choice he will make. The sea doesn't forget, and neither will I.